Hello kittens, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a special guest. Sushi, say hello.
I'm a freak, man. Like a freak.
Sushi, get away from the plastic. Sushi, come on. He has a brand new collar with an air tag, and the air tag has a little kitty on it because I've been watching TikTok. Don't scratch my chair, kitten, please. My brand new chair. Come lay down and sleep. Get your claws out of my chair, please. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to ban you. Anyways, today I am going to give you every single detail ever about my rhinoplasty, which I traveled to Turkey for. It's a lot. I'm gonna give you the pricing breakdown. I'm gonna go over my packing list, what I bought, what I packed. I wanna do it now before too much time goes by. Oh my God, okay, so he just comes over, he covers me in hair, and then he leaves. It's okay. We'll scoot over so that you guys can see him. Let's begin. Okay, so here is my nose right now. Obviously, like, it's contoured, but I'm gonna include pictures of it without makeup as well. Here it is from the side. She's beautiful. I love her. I have had no complications with healing. I have had it for about 8 months now. Swelling is going down. It's going great. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I have wanted a nose job for literally forever. I didn't feel like my old nose looked good with my facial features. I talked about it a little bit in my glow up journey video. I feel like my type of nose looks good on some people's faces. I didn't like it on my face. I had like a double chin for a long time, and my chin also like didn't stick out as far, and like getting lip filler kind of like made those facial features a little bit more visible. Oh my God, he wants to come back now. Sushi, come here. But you have to lay down and go to sleep and be good, please. I'm gonna stop petting you so you calm down and go to bed. He's too excited right now. He's too excited to be in this video. So yeah, basically, like, I had wanted it for a very long time, but I hadn't really like seriously looked into it because I knew that the price tag in LA was very far out of my budget for now. But one random day I was working out with a friend. She was like, oh yeah, let's work out again soon, but in a few months. And I was like, what? Why? She was like, well, I'm flying to Turkey in 2 weeks for my nose job. And I was like, oh my God, that is my dream. Like, I've wanted one for so long. I've never met anyone who's gone to Turkey for one. Like, please, like, tell me like who your surgeon is. So that's kind of where the process began. I looked at her surgeon. He did incredible work, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So that's where I started researching. I did initially start looking in LA and in the States. I was like, okay, before I travel out of the country, let me see if I can find anyone here. So I started doing some digging. I first looked in LA, did not find anyone under, I think, 18 to 20K. No one. I'm sure there are, I just didn't find any. Then I started researching what the cheapest states are to get plastic surgery. I looked in Florida, Texas. I even looked in Oklahoma, okay? And I did not get a single quote under 15K. And these were for surgeons that I like didn't even love their work. I was just like, okay, like they are cheaper, so let me check. So after speaking to multiple doctors in the US, that's when I was like, okay, this means I need to go to Turkey. I briefly looked in Mexico as well. I didn't find a surgeon in my brief search that I was like obsessed with their work. I'm sure I could have found one, but I just didn't. I was like, let me just go to Turkey. Like, I now know someone who has been there and had a really good experience. So that's what I started looking into. I started out on Reddit. I really didn't want to get the usual like copy paste Turkey nose job. Obviously, like, there's plenty of surgeons in Turkey who don't do that nose, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And I feel like a lot of times when you hear like, oh my God, I got a nose job in Turkey, like that's kind of the nose that you immediately picture, which is fine for some people. It just wasn't what I was going for. There are lists on Facebook. There's like Facebook groups. There's subreddits that have lists list of doctors who have like botched people. So I went through those lists as I was doing my research to basically like filter out anyone that had, you know, botched people. And that is when I landed on Dr. Deniz Dilek. I hope I'm saying that right. Most of the surgeons that are popular in Turkey are in the capital in Istanbul. Dr. Deniz Dilek was in Antalya, which is like by the beach. It's actually a very pretty town. I started looking at his work. I really liked his work, and that is why I started seriously considering him, because his noses were very similar to what I was looking for. I kind of wanted to find someone who like specialized in noses that looked like the type of nose I wanted. I screenshotted, actually I had like years worth of screenshots that I had just like randomly taken of like, oh my God, this girl is thirst trapping on TikTok and her nose looks really good. That's the type of nose I want. So I had a lot of screenshots. These are some of the ones that I sent them. So I found Dr. Deniz Dilek from a TikTok. My entire For You page just turned into rhinoplasty videos. And this girl had gotten a nose job from him and it was like almost exactly what I wanted. So that's how I found him. And then I searched up TikToks. I looked at comments. Like I did very deep like digging. I didn't just look at like the reviews on Google. That's one thing with doctors in Turkey. A lot of them are not on Real Self, which is how I did the research for my boob job, because I got that here in the States. So it's harder to rely on Real Self reviews. And I don't trust Google reviews as much because I just don't trust that they're not deleting them. So I was like, okay, if I'm like scrolling on TikTok, if I'm looking on Reddit and Facebook, like they can't really control what people are saying on there. I feel like I tend to trust those reviews more than like a Google review. I like scoured TikTok and Reddit. I didn't find any negative reviews on his rhinoplasties. I was like, okay, this seems like a very viable option. I went on their Instagram and they have their WhatsApp number on there. A lot of surgeons in Turkey do that. So I messaged them. I was like, hey, here's what my nose looks like currently. These are the pictures I sent them. Can you give me a price range? They responded asking me for my age. They asked me for any previous surgeries, just like very like standard questions. So I responded to that and then they got back to me. They said that it's performed under general anesthesia. It takes about 2 hours and I would need to stay in Turkey for about 7 days after my surgery. The surgery came out to 4,500 euros, which is about $5,100 around there. So that was just for the nose job. On the 7th day, they would remove the cast and then I could go back home. A lot of surgeons in Turkey do a package that also includes transportation and hotel. They quoted me an extra 1,000 euros for that. I did some research and figured out that it would be a few $100s cheaper to just book my own hotel. So I decided to just book my own place. I was taking my partner with me so that he could take care of me. If I was traveling alone, then I probably would have done the package deal. But since I had my partner with me, I was like, okay, I feel like I can manage like getting my own hotel and transportation, which they don't have Ubers there, but you can use the Uber app to get a taxi. I relied on that the entire time. Ubers are extremely cheap. They're like $5. Very cheap. The hotel I found was walking distance from my surgeon's office. It was about 15 to 20 minutes from the hospital where I got my surgery. I got on a call with my surgeon. We went over everything. I liked what I heard. They told me that it was open rhinoplasty with ultrasonic system. I'm gonna be so honest, I don't know exactly what that means. Probably could have done more research on the techniques, but it's fine because I love my nose now. But if you're looking into it, then probably do a little bit more research on the methods than I did. I also really wanted chin lipo, and they did tell me that he does chin lipo as well. I only saw one picture on his Instagram highlights of someone who got chin lipo. I would usually say like go to someone that specializes in what you're doing, but I was like, okay, it's chin lipo, like if he doesn't specialize in that, like, okay, let's say he fucks it up, like how badly can he fuck up? Like I prefer to just do both of them at the same time. And I don't really want to go to someone separate to get that done at the same time. So I was like, I'll just do both of them while I'm under. Like, let's say I don't like my results. Okay, I'll go and get it done again. That's probably not the smartest way of looking at it, but it's okay because it worked out for me. The only thing I would have done differently probably is I would have gone to someone who did offer the skin tightening procedure that they also like sometimes pair up with chin lipo. He did not offer that. So that's probably the one thing that I would have done differently. But yeah, I told them that I wanted to do it together as a package deal. The chin lipo on its own was roughly $1,700. In the US, from my research, at least here in LA, that would have been around $4,000. So great deal. So yeah, I decided to set the date. They would have taken me a lot sooner, but I wanted to wait just to make sure that I could like very comfortably get this procedure done financially. I talked to them in May. I set my surgery date in October. I was a little sad because that meant I would miss out on Halloween festivities, but it was worth it to me. I wanted this for so long. Like Halloween was not going to stop me. It was not going to stop me from getting this. I did also let them know that I had had nose filler about a year prior, and they said that that was fine. I had to put down a €300 deposit. Comes out to about $340 right now. I had to use, I think, Western Union to send the deposit. I did struggle a little bit with that. It was not the easiest. The rest of the surgery I paid in cash. Total right now, the rhinoplasty and chin lipo came out to $6,800. That doesn't include flights yet. That doesn't include hotel. This is already a great price, you guys, compared to anything in the US. It is a great price. I did also have to do research on flights. There are certain flights who won't let you fly a week after surgery. They have like a minimum of like 10 days, 2 weeks. So I had to make sure that when I was getting my flights, I could actually fly out. So my surgery was scheduled on October 14th. They wanted me to come in on the 13th for blood work and for an in-person consultation with the surgeon. So I flew in on the 12th. I bought 2 plane tickets, one for me, one for my partner. They both had layovers in Canada and Austria. So we had 2 layovers. Sucked, but it is what it is. So total, my flights came out to $2,200 for 2 people. I booked them with the extra days in mind. There was a little bit of miscommunication with the dates. I did ask them about the dates that I was booking and they did approve it, and it ended up being a little bit too short. It was okay. I think we took the cast off on the 5th day instead of the 7th day, but it did cause me a lot of anxiety because I was like, oh my God, my nose is gonna fall off because we're taking off the cast early. So just be aware of that. Make sure that you have a full 7 days after surgery. I don't really know how that miscommunication happened, but it's fine. Also, all of my communication with them was in English. It's not perfect English, but it was like very understandable. Like I was able to communicate with them pretty well. Started looking into hotels. I wanted a hotel that was pretty close to either the hospital or the surgeon's office. I ended up finding one that was walking distance. It included breakfast. It came out to $600 for October 12th to the 20th, 2 people. You can definitely find cheaper. I just wanted to make sure that it was something that was clean and like had good reviews. $600 is what you would pay for like one night here in LA. So again, a very good deal. Food was a little bit more difficult. I am a vegetarian. It wasn't impossible to find vegetarian food at all. It was just probably a little bit more difficult than here. I did find a vegan restaurant that did delivery close to our hotel. We did struggle ordering food because they don't have Uber Eats. They have a different app that they use there, and you need to have a like Turkish phone number to sign up. So we had to like create a Turkish phone number and then sign up for it. The hotel also could place food orders for us, and some places also you can message them through WhatsApp and place orders through there. So I would recommend if you're going, like, probably have some places scoped out ahead of time if you're trying to order food. Food was like a little bit on the pricier side, I'd say, if you're like ordering every single meal, but it's not like more than here. It's fine. I'm just not used to like ordering food. I don't really order out, so to me that was like an extra cost that I'm not used to spending on, but it's fine. It wasn't like crazy. So we got to our hotel, I want to say at around 4 p.m. I did book a shuttle with the hotel. They had like a shuttle service. I believe it was like $30 extra to get picked up. The hotel was about 30 to 45 minutes from the Antalya airport. So they came and picked us up. Immediately when we got into the airport, oh my God, we got stared at. Like, it was insane compared to out here because of our tattoos. We did get pulled aside from a crowd to get our bags checked. Literally, we were walking with the crowd out. No one's bags were getting checked out, and they yelled at us and they were like, you guys, like they had someone run after us and grab us and be like, you guys, come over here. We're checking your bag. They had one other person whose bag they checked because it was like wrapped weird. But it was fine. It was really fast. Like, it wasn't an issue. They did just pick us out of the crowd. When we were outside, we did struggle a little bit to find our shuttle person because there's like a million people there waiting to pick someone up with like a sign, but we eventually found them. It was great. He was super nice. He spoke a little bit of English. Most of the people in Antalya, at least, did not speak a lot of English. It was mostly just like very basic, like, hey, how are you? And that was it. We relied on Google Translate a lot, and a lot of the people there do as well. It is a pretty touristy town, so they have their Google Translate ready to go. We got to the hotel, we were exhausted, so we kind of just like showered, we went to the grocery store and went to bed. Okay, so here is my packing list. I bought 3 rolls of surgical tape. I packed one. My surgeon's assistant told me that I didn't need to pack it because they were gonna give me some anyways, but I packed it just in case because you can never be too prepared. You never know what you're gonna need. I bought adhesive remover. I didn't pack it with me because I wasn't gonna need it on the trip. Please buy this. It is a lifesaver. You're gonna have so much sticky goop on your face. You're gonna be taping your nose and removing that shit for months. Obviously it depends on your surgeon, but yeah. I packed makeup wipes because you can't really wash your face for the first week. I bought a bromelain supplement. I don't know how the fuck you say it. I don't fucking know. But I bought it and I packed it and I started taking it before my surgery, as well as arnica. I started taking that a couple weeks before my surgery as well, just to help with swelling and bruising. I ordered and packed arnica gel. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I really ended up using this. I didn't really feel like I needed it, but I packed it anyways because that's what I was told to do. I packed a mouth spray because your mouth gets really, really dry because you cannot breathe through your nose for that first week. I also packed emergency just in case. Sometimes I get sick when I travel and I just wanted to be prepared. I ordered a neck pillow. You cannot sleep on your back. You have to sleep elevated, so basically like sitting up for the first week. That was misery. We'll get into that later, but the neck pillow definitely helps, not just on the plane but also like just sleeping throughout that first week. I also ordered a laxative. I think I only ended up using it once, but some people get super constipated, so make sure you have that. And I ordered scar cream, didn't pack it with me because also was not gonna need that yet. I packed like a lot of really comfy clothes and my very, very basic skincare stuff. I packed gauze, Q-tips, and straws. Straws, oh my God, a lifesaver. Please pack straws. You can't really like move your top lip at first, so drinking is like impossible if you do not have a straw. I did pack a gentle face wash, but you kind of have to like very carefully, I don't know, just like go around everything. It's a lot easier if you have makeup wipes. I know that a lot of people pack a humidifier. I did not. If I could go back in time, I would get one, especially in Turkey. In Antalya, when I went, it was so incredibly dry. It was drier than LA. The air is just, it like cuts through your throat. And I also kind of like had a sore throat. Basically, like when I got there, I started feeling like I was gonna get sick and I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is like the worst day ever. But I was fine. I just like drank a lot of emergency. I like did some research on like whether I should actually postpone my nose job or not, which would have been devastating if I needed to do that. But luckily I was fine. It was just a sore throat, but that sore throat did fucking suck during the healing process. It made it a lot worse. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the main stuff. I can't really remember anything else. I should have filmed this video like immediately after my surgery, but I'm telling you what I can remember now. We slept the first day, we woke up the next morning, went to the hospital to get my blood work done. They had a translator ready for me there. It was a little bit confusing just like figuring out what part of the hospital to go to. I think I ended up at like the emergency room entrance at first when I got there, and we had to like use Google Translate to ask the nurses and be like, hey, where are we supposed to go? And then eventually like I was able to find my translator and she was so incredibly helpful. I had to fill out some paperwork. Hospital was incredibly clean, so fucking clean. And apparently it was like the best hospital in Antalya and also considered one of the best hospitals in the country, I believe they said. So translator helped me fill out the paperwork, and then we went in to get my blood work done. And then I went in and talked to the anesthesiologist, just make sure that everything is fine and in order. And that was basically it. They did take a lot of blood. I think they took like 4 or 5 vials. It's more than I've ever had taken. Yeah, be prepared for that. After that, I Ubered back to my surgeon's office and we had our in-person consultation. Basically, he told me what to expect. He got a little camera. He looked inside my nose. It was funny because so I've been sober for about 3 years now. When he looked inside my nose, I had previously had a septum ring, which I did take out as soon as I made my appointment because I did have it gauged. I think I had it at like an 8. I think an 8 was the biggest I got. So immediately when I did that, I took it out. They asked me to take it out because they wanted it to heal and close up as much as possible before my surgery, especially because I had a gauge. They were slightly concerned about that. So when he looked inside my nose with the camera, he told me that my like cartilage was very damaged because of my septum ring. But also, I don't think he believed me. He was like, oh, after your nose job, you can't do coke. And I was like, I don't do coke. 1, I've been sober for 3 years. 2, I wasn't even doing that before I was sober. He didn't really seem to believe me. I think it's probably because of how I look. But yeah, basically like the inside of my nose was pretty damaged, and he told me that he was basically gonna have to reconstruct my entire like cartilage area inside. He told me that I could never get my septum pierced again because that could basically make it collapse because he has to like reconstruct it. And that was fine. It's not the end of the world. Like, did I love having a septum piercing? Yes, but that's not gonna stop me from getting my dream nose. He then took pictures of my nose and then he basically like photoshopped my nose into what it would look like after surgery. Not exactly, but it was very close, which I was very happy with what he did. I wanted the bridge straightened. I wanted this part of my nose, it basically like came down a little bit lower. I wanted that shaved off. I didn't want a super upturned nose. I just wanted more of like a straight bridge. I didn't want like a slope basically, which a lot of Turkish noses have a very pronounced slope. I wanted more of a straight bridge and then the tip to be a little bit more like upturned. I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't just want it to be like, I wanted straight and then I wanted it to come up. don't think that made a lot of sense. So yeah, I paid the rest of my balance in cash when I was there. I did buy like a money belt, kind of like a boomer, to wear in the airport because I was carrying so much cash on me. I was like, I don't even want this in my purse. I want to have it on me at all times. I'm not used to carrying that much cash on me. So yeah, pay the rest of that. Felt like a weight lifted off of me after I got rid of that cash that was just on me at all times. So I also packed my Switch so that I could keep myself entertained after the surgery. That was nice to have during the healing. So after my in-person consultation, we went back to the hotel. I think we like went by a mall and like walked around a little bit. Kind of just tried to like rest and chill for my surgery the next day. So the next day I had to be at the hospital at 7 a.m. My translator was waiting for me again. She took me to my room where I was going to spend the first night. They did also let my partner spend the first night there with me. The room was super clean. It was nice. I was very, very anxious and scared. I feel like you're always like excited before surgery until the day actually comes, and then you're in that room and you're like, oh my God, I'm permanently changing my body. Like, what if I fucking hate it? It was a very scary thought. I want to say I was probably in the room for like 30 minutes. They hooked me up to an IV. They kind of like tried to find a vein in my arm. They wanted it to be in my left arm specifically. They looked for maybe like 2 seconds, and I feel like the surgeon was like scared to find a vein in my blackout sleeve. I did not see anyone else in Turkey with a blackout sleeve, so I guess that makes sense. So she ended up like, she just like immediately moved from here to my hand. She put it in my hand, not gonna lie, that shit fucking hurt. They put it in and then left for about 30 minutes, and I had to just sit there and just like be alone with my thoughts and think about what I've done. And it was pretty painful. Ian tried to distract me by taking stupid 0.5s of me. They were pretty funny. And then they came back in. They had me change into this beautiful, cunty, stylish outfit, and then they put me in a wheelchair with a blanket, and then they wheeled me away. I was very nervous. Obviously, my partner had to stay in the room. So I was like, okay, I'll see you in like 3 or 4 hours, which is around how long it ended up taking because of the chin lipo as well, which is a good sign. If you are out of that fucking operating room in like an hour, your surgeon sucks. You should not be in there for like an hour. I did not have my translator with me at this point anymore, so that was a little bit scary. It was like 2 nurses wheeling me out, and they're just like talking to each other, and I have no idea what they're saying. And they took me down a few levels. It kind of felt like I was in the basement. It was very, very cold down there. There was just like fluorescent lights. It was so cold and just like scary. I don't know. It was so scary. They took me into the like operating room, and they put me on the operating table. Like I had to do that myself, which was a little bit scary. It was different than when I got my boob job. Like they had me in a bed and they put me under anesthesia, and I don't know anything that happened from there. So it was kind of like scary walking into the operating room and like seeing everything. I wasn't really expecting that. So they had me lay down, they hooked me up, and then I don't remember anything after that. I woke up very, very confused. I like couldn't open my eyes anymore, but I could hear people talking around me. It was very confusing because no one was talking in English. And I just remember that I like kept trying to sit up, and the nurses kept being like, no. And like I tried to get up like 3 different times, and every time they like pushed me back down. I don't know. I was very confused. I woke up very anxious. I didn't know what was going on, but they wheeled me back up to my room. Felt like an eternity getting back to my room. My partner was there. He also, in the meantime, he took my prescription that the doctor gave and went and picked up my medication for me, which I believe was antihistamine to help with like just like being super clogged up. It was a pain medication, which they do not give you a strong pain medication. It's literally like Advil. It's not strong at all. I can't remember what else they gave me. They did give me something else. Oh, an antibiotic. So he went and picked those up for me. The medication I think was like $80 total. It was very, very cheap. And then they transferred me into the bed. I was like completely bandaged up. I had a cast on. I had a chin strap on. I was a mess. It was not very very sexy at all. That first night was kind of felt like being in hell. They woke me up every 2 hours, basically like take a syringe, not with the needle, but just like the syringe part. And they have these like pouches of saline water that they put in the syringe, and then they take the gauze off of your nose and they shoot it up your nose to clean it out. Very uncomfortable. They hold like a bowl under your chin to like catch the water that comes out, and it comes out like bloody and gross. So they were doing that every 2 hours. They would come in the middle of the night, turn on that fucking light, and shoot that water up my nose. It was very uncomfortable. A lot of times it would like come out of my mouth as well. So it was like salty, bloody water coming out of my mouth. It was disgusting. They fed me. The food was actually like not bad at all. They brought me vegetarian food. That was not a problem. It was actually like very healthy food. It's like food that I was like familiar with as a Romanian. It was like bread and cheese and tomatoes and olives. Like that's a Romanian breakfast right there. So yeah, it was actually pretty good, but I did really struggle eating. I had to eat very slowly. I think that it was a lot worse than just a nose job because of the chin, because it was like pretty sore. So I just like really struggled chewing. I couldn't open my mouth very wide. It was fucking miserable. So I didn't sleep a lot the first night. I did have to like be sitting up. The next morning I was able to leave at around 10 or 11, I think. I was very anxious. I just wanted to get back to the hotel room. They finally let me go. The doctor came by to see me first thing the next morning. That's basically what I had to wait for, was for him to come and check on me. And then yeah, we got a taxi and headed back to the hotel. I ended up just resting. I believe we had to clean out my nose like they did at the hospital I forget if it was every 4 or every 6 hours. I was able to like shower and just kind of like wipe my face. I didn't really, just because so much of my face was covered, I didn't really do a skincare routine, which I really regret. It was so dry and it kind of like really fucked up my skin. My skin was like so dry that I kind of like got a rash around my eyes. So I would not recommend that. Like try and do some sort of skincare routine because it is so dry. I did also kind of like break out because of the chin strap. Not immediately, but like a few weeks after I was like breaking out. That was fucking fun. Next week, I kind of just like sat in bed. I tried to walk around a little bit. They told me to like take a walk a couple times a day, just that I'm like moving. Honestly, the walks were not that bad because there are cats everywhere. So that was a bonus. There were just fucking cats literally on every corner. Ian was amazing and like took very good care of me, helped me with like all my medication, cleaning out my nose, fucking everything. I had to kind of like only order mashed potatoes because it was so hard to chew and open my mouth. So something to be aware of. On the 5th day, I went into the doctor's office and they took off the cast and took out the things inside of my nose. That fucking sucked. Taking off the cast was a little bit painful, and taking out the stuff from your nose, like it feels like they're taking out your brains through your nose. It's not fun. And then they have this like little tube, kind of like the thing that they have at like the dentist that they use to like suction like the saliva in your mouth. They use that to like clean up your nose because there's so much gunk and stuff in there. Like I had not been able to breathe those entire 5 days through my nose. That was fun. Your throat gets incredibly dry. Like it is painfully dry. So the throat spray definitely helps. You're definitely gonna want a really good chapstick because again, it's dry as fuck. After they take the stuff out of your nose, he cleaned my nose. That sucked because he's just like using like gauze with like alcohol to like clean everything off my nose. That hurt. I had to stop him at one point just for a breather because I started feeling nauseous. I felt like I was gonna pass out just because your nose is so sensitive and there's like all this pressure on it, even though it's still pretty numb. They put another cast on over it. It's like a different one. And then they put a nose retainer in there. It's like a little, I'll put a picture on the screen. You have to put that in your nose. He gave me a cream to put inside of my nose very carefully with a Q-tip. And basically you put it on the nose retainer as the nostril retainer as well, so that it like slides in to kind of like lubricate it. I think for the first week, maybe 2, he had me keep the nose retainer in at all times. The cast, the second one that he put on, you also keep in for the first week. And then the chin strap I also had on at all times for the first month. Yeah, for the first month, I had to have a chin strap on 24/7. It was not a pretty sight. I had to travel with the chin strap and the nose cast. It felt like a humiliation ritual. I was so swollen. I was so miserable. Side note, actually, like, I don't usually see like a lot of celebrities just out and about in LA. The guy from Shameless, I don't remember what his name was, Ian maybe, on my fucking flight at my gate. I don't really give a fuck, but like, we literally made eye contact at one point. I was like, wow, great. Like, I live in LA, and the one time I see a celebrity is my layover in Germany, and he's on the same flight as me. Again, not that I really care, but it was just funny. You do have to travel with a doctor's note that says that you are allowed to travel. Make sure you have that. Have that ready, because you will not get on that flight if you don't have that. I was asked for it multiple times, not just getting on the flight, but by the flight attendants. So make sure that you have that. I was not able to get a seat next to my partner on the flight back. It wasn't even an option to pick that. So that kind of sucked. I just felt like I needed my emotional support bald man there. But the flight attendants were very, very nice, and they moved him to a seat much closer than the original one, so it was better than nothing. I will say, the Germany airport, everyone was very nice, but it was genuinely the most confusing airport I've ever been to. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I'm very happy that I had plenty of time, because I would have missed my flight. It took me like an hour and a half to get to my gate, just because it was confusing and I had to get on all these shuttles. I genuinely never want to go to that airport again. It was a nightmare. I finally got home and just kind of rested for the first 2 weeks. I didn't do a lot because I was just all strapped up. I didn't really want to go outside like that. My doctor had me, after the first week, with the adhesive remover. You basically use a Q-tip and you just get everything. You just soak it in that. I also tried baby oil. I kind of switched between the two throughout my time taping up my nose. Just kind of what I felt that day. You just soak that tape up with a Q-tip, and I would let it sit for 5 to 15 minutes. The longer the better, just to really soak in there, so you're not pulling on your nose when you're taking the tape off. After the first, I think, month, I only had to use my retainer at night. It's definitely kind of hard to sleep with, to have your retainer on 24/7. You're very snotty for the first, honestly, I still get more snotty than I used to. Even 8 months in, it's improved a lot, but for those first few months, you are so snotty all the fucking time, all the time. I relied on the saline spray a lot. The nostril retainer would get full of gunk and boogers. It was really gross, so I'd have to wash it every time I took it out. My surgeon had me tape my nose up for 3 months and sleep with my retainer for 3 months. Now, as your nose starts healing and the swelling starts going down, the retainer starts fitting a little bit less. After, I think I only ended up wearing it for about 2 months. I stopped wearing it about 2 months early because I could not fit it in my nose anymore. It was excruciatingly painful trying to push it in. And I talked to my surgeon and I was like, hey, what should I do in this case? Genuinely, it is painful to still push it in my nose. What should I do? I was I bought a smaller retainer on Amazon. Do I use this, or do I just stop using it? And they were like, no, we don't want you using a different retainer. Try and keep it in as much as you can. If you can't at all, we prefer you just don't use it anymore. Continue taping your nose and just don't use the retainer anymore. I don't know if there's an option for your surgeon to just give you the same retainer but smaller, because you can't buy this exact same retainer here. So I don't know if some surgeons will give you a smaller one for later on. I have no idea if that was an option. But so yeah, I stopped using my retainer earlier than I was supposed to. That was definitely very scary. I'm so paranoid when it comes to healing a surgery, and I'm everything my surgeon tells me to do, I will go above and beyond to follow that, because it's on my face. I don't want to risk fucking it up. Like whatever my surgeon says, I'm going to follow that. Like it is the Bible. Okay. So you can only sleep on your back for the first few months so that you're not like accidentally like on your side and then you're pushing against your nose. For the first 6 weeks, was not allowed to do any physical activity besides just like walking. No sunglasses for the first 3 or 4 months. I'm 8 months in, I still don't really wear sunglasses just because my nose still feels sensitive and I'm just so paranoid. So I'll use them like here and there, but I usually try to avoid it. My nose still feels like it gets a little bit sore when I try to do that. So better safe than sorry. I try to avoid it as much as I possibly can. After 6 weeks, I was allowed to do like some cardio, some stretching, some yoga or Pilates if I wanted. I didn't really feel like getting into Pilates just for that like month. So I just like took a break from the gym. That really did suck. After 3 months, I had to wait 3 months. That's when I could start lifting weights again. I did notice that my nose would get a little bit like swollen when I did like start going to the gym. So I definitely did notice that. But after a while, like I got used to it and it was okay. You do have to wear a lot of sunscreen or cover up with a hat. You do feel it. If you go out in the sun or in the heat, like you feel it. It kind of like, it gets swollen, it starts throbbing, like you want to stay the fuck out of the sun when your nose is healing. Oh my God, I did forget to mention taking the stitches out. That fucking sucked when my surgeon took those out. My nose has been healing very well. There was a point in the healing process where I did freak out a little bit because where there's supposed to be like a dip in my nose bridge, there was a bump instead. And I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God, what if my nose is ruined? What if it's like not healing well? Or what if I like didn't like really explain very well what I wanted? I was freaking the fuck out. From all my research, what I have learned is that the tip of your nose is the last part for the swelling to go down, and it's gotten a lot better. Like that bump has like pretty much disappeared. Yeah, I'm expecting swelling for a total of like 12 to 16 months is what it can take for it to be fully healed. So far, so good. 10 out of 10, like worth it. I feel like I went over everything. I don't think I'm forgetting much. I don't know. That was my experience. It was so worth it. It has really like changed my face. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very happy with the surgeon that I picked. 100% would go to Turkey again for anything else that I want done. It's scary and intimidating to go to another country to get something like that done, especially if you don't speak the language. But so many people go to Turkey, especially for nose jobs, that they've really like made the process very easy. I did get a couple of questions on my Instagram. Someone was asking if they do ethnic noses. Yes, I did see surgeons who do them. I'm not sure if my surgeon specifically does them, but I have seen some surgeons in Turkey who do that. So you just have to do some research to find the right one. I also had someone else ask how the pain level was compared to other procedures. It was definitely less painful than getting a boob job. My boob job was a lot more painful. The nose job was very, very miserable, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it was very painful. For my boob job, for example, they prescribed Oxy for the pain, whereas for my nose job, the painkillers that they gave me were Advil level of painkiller. So not a lot, and like I was concerned about that, but it was honestly like completely fine. Yes, it was a little bit painful. I'd say the worst of it was definitely like that appointment that I had before leaving when he took everything off. That fucking sucked. I'd say some parts of that were probably like a 6, maybe. Definitely less painful than like my boob job. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Would do it again. It was very, very worth it. Altogether, flight, hotel, procedure, food, it was all under $10,000, which I think is a much better deal than anything I would have gotten in the US. Maybe 10 years ago, I could have gotten that in the US, but not now in this day and age. Yeah, very worth it, much cheaper, very easy process. I was expecting it to be a little bit more difficult, especially because of the language barrier, but yeah, it was fine. I love my nose. She's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. This was a very, very in-depth video. Let me know in the comments. I don't know if there are any questions that I missed, but I will try my best to respond in the comments. If there's anything else you would like to know. Yeah, if there's any other specific content that you would like to see from me, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, love you, bye.